Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Dobson 777A here. Kind of starting a little bit earlier in the evening because I wanted to get in here because we've had some major changes in the precious metals pricing, especially over the last 30 days. And I think I may have actually made a mistake on some of my charts. Um, I don't know when that was, maybe last week. It's possible that we might see gold jump up 800 bucks in a fairly short amount of time, like in the next 12 months or something. I think originally we were estimating we were just going to get to 2,000, but I think we're going to go like a lot more really quick, like 800 bucks or more. We may hit 2,600, 2,700 bucks. So, excuse me, I put that in the thumbnail so that you could see what the chart looks like. And I think partly because I had the pennant magnified instead of looking back from when the bull run started. And so if you use that starting point, we're going to see roughly an $800 jump. So it depends on where we're starting at. So we got Alex K, got Greg Steinberg, Cheap Laugh Kennedy, and I don't know if this is it or not, but I mean, we've been talking about that this is going to be like a 10-year thing. It's not going to be an overnight thing, but I said there's going to be periods of time where it's going to move very rapidly. And I think $1.7 trillion kind of helps. And I think that we have a lot of things going on with the Fed where they're, not going to raise interest rates or any of this kind of stuff. And so we have a combination and even worldwide things where the Federal reserves are not doing anything. So the bond market's having a fit, number of different things. But anyways, I went and looked at our precious metal miners to kind of see what's going on. And my portfolio for the, I guess, since the inception of time, I'm up 22%. And that thing was up significantly more previously. But we have a few positions. I've noticed like ELYGF, that ticker symbol changed or it got bought by somebody. And so I got to go do a little research about that to figure out what happened because there's $2,000 that must have been converted to something else. But I was looking at year to date and I got to go check these things to make sure I set this up for the beginning of the year. I may not have done anything since last year. So some of this I'm going to have to just take a look. But the portfolio, since the last time I'd reset it, the improved portfolio is down 8.6%, and the ETF miners down 9.75. But I got to see if I reset the beginning of this year or not. I may not have done anything, so this may have been since last year because we've been on a downward trend for quite some time. But anyways, for the day, we had a couple of positions that did fairly well, and I'll probably get to that. I'll do a video for that later once I kind of get this cleaned up and go see what the starting points were and get this all squared back away. But I just thought I'd kind of take a look at it and see what it's doing. I'm going to close that out because it's probably stealing some of my bandwidth. By the way, it took me like 4 times to get the live stream working tonight. I don't know what the problem was. I think maybe I was just taking too long to get it set up. There's a lot of settings you got to go through on this now. It used to be you kind of did it after the fact. Now you have to do it at the beginning, and I didn't have everything ready for it. So there's a couple things that are kind of interesting. We're starting to see maybe some things going on in housing market. I don't know how many of you have heard, Zillow had this buying capability where they would just buy your house and then resell it for you, and it took a lot of the stress out of it. Well, they ended up having a ton of houses, like 20,000 houses. They started this thing, and they started this process right at the time that the market was kind of folding over a little bit. And so they all of a sudden panicked, laid off like 25% of their staff in the US, and had to find some major institutional investor to try to unload those houses. So, if you're out there thinking of selling your house, you're probably running out of time, because we're going to start. And I talked about this. Remember, everything goes in cycles. And I talked about the problem with the government keeping people from being able to be evicted. And the number was like 20% of not only single family homes, but also apartments and stuff. 20% of them were underperforming. So the people were either significantly behind in rent, they should be evicted, and the government didn't allow us to evict for a long time. In fact, I think it was October 30th, they finally started docketing, allowing evictions to proceed. And if we end up with 20% of the properties going into evictions, now there, you may, if it's a rental, you may be able to kind of get them back in. But some of these companies or people that had like apartment complexes, they may be having financial problems, and the whole apartment complex could end up for sale if they didn't have enough margins. So I'm a little concerned that we're going to see a significant short sale foreclosure. First it's got to do evictions, and last time it took about 4 years before the bottom happened in the housing market. So you may see a significant. I hope people aren't over leveraged, because this is going to be a problem if all of a sudden we start seeing all these houses going back on the market, and you end up with what is it going to be? Last time housing prices went to half. Is it going to go 25% down? Is it going to go 30% down? Is it going to go half? I don't know. And if that happens, your rents may go down too, because there's going to be more properties available. I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to happen to all these people now that actually get evicted? Where the heck are they going to go? This is a problem. I mean, there's a lot of people just don't have jobs still. Those jobs never came back. And a lot of people, they just don't want to go off and go get something that's, like substantially lower pay than what they had. But I can't remember when the unemployment benefits and all that stuff starts. A lot of things are coming to a head right now. That's going to force some changes to people. But yeah, we blew past 1835. So I've got some charts up here. We're currently at 1848. We shot all the way above 1860 today, and then it kind of sunk back down for gold. Silver's at 24.647 right now, and platinum's at 1,069, and it looks like it kind of broke through the trend right now. We'll just have to see if that one holds. But I'm still thinking platinum's going to go up around $500, but I'm thinking that gold, if you take the flag post for gold back to 2018, we could see gold going up another $837 from 1,800. So that would be $2,637 could be the top on that one. And last time it took a couple years for us to, run up that $837 previously. So it may take the same, but for some reason, I get the feeling with what's happening that things are going to happen much faster. So there was some talk about this when over a year ago they were saying that because of the money that everybody's doing for like the COVID and everything, sending people checks, that's basically helicopter money. They said in the beginning, this is going to be like little ripples in the pond, the amount that they're printing, but they said it's going to end up being like a tidal wave. And so all of a sudden we saw, off the top of my head, what was it, $1.7 trillion that they're going to do in infrastructure and everything else. I mean, that is a ton of money that's made out of just nothing. And so people are going to start realizing that, especially with inflation and everything else. We had this acronym a couple years ago. Remember, it's called TINA. There is no alternative. So, I mean, hopefully we're still in the right trade, and this is going to happen, and it's going to happen. You could see 15% jumps in a week. That it could be that significant. So we'll see how it works out. And yeah, the miners will definitely explode. The miners will be unbelievable. And So there's been a little bit of pain. I kind of just let everything ride. I didn't touch anything. I just let it go, and I went and did other things. So I got a feeling that it's going to be pretty doggone lucrative. They don't have any other, like I said, there's no other alternative. So when this happens, this is going to be amazing. So I think I'm going to update my prediction and say that, the next top that we're going to get to is 2650 to 2700. It's going to be substantial. And then if we really do go to 27, platinum's going to be up in the 2000 range easy and potentially going further. But yeah, we had a nice resting point here. It was probably about a month ago when things started moving. So if you were buying, then you probably got some good entry points on a lot of this stuff. But it's kind of funny when you look at the charts, even though we had, things kind of came down, it really, gold held up very well, very well. There was just a little slump and some volatility in here, but it held up very well. It's not like this thing retraced back 50% or anything. And silver's held up very well too, because, we never dropped down below $22, it looked like. And if we did, it was, just a quick candlestick and bounced right back up. So 22 and a half roughly looks like the support here. And we're currently jumped up like $2 in no time. It looks like the bottom on this was back at the end of September, and it's up like $2 for silver. And platinum has gone up a little bit over $100. And of course, gold from the low back in the end of September is up like $200. That's $100. Gold's up $100 from 1750 to 1850. There was a spike that was down to 1722, but anyways. Yeah, just remember, silver lags. So we may not see silver moving for quite some time. So silver lags like a year, and platinum may be kind of a little bit behind that as well. We'll have to see what happens. But silver doesn't have a flag formation here, so it's really difficult to do a prediction for that. Yeah, I'd like to see the miners do something. Remember, we're supposed to be on some of these things leveraged like 10 times in the miners. So you would think if we see a 30% change in gold price, I mean, you could see a 3 times change in the miners. That's how significant that'd be. Silver liners in the house. Bitcoin Country, Jeff Flaherty, Dan D. Yeah, I already closed up my my chart to see what AG was doing, but I expect it was doing pretty well. Yeah, I don't know what's going to take. By the way, we saw this before. We had some downturns and the miners went negative like 20%, but it was amazing. In just a month, they were back positive. That's how fast those things turn around. So again, I kind of just left all my stuff alone, and we'll see what happens. Miners are kind of on these quarterly things when you start seeing the profitability, everything. I'm going to start reading all the reports again if time permits, so I can see, what duties, portfolios, and everything are doing. See what their projections are. But we just got to make sure these breakouts hold, and I don't know why they wouldn't, but I think a lot of people might start jumping into this. Just need some big bucks. But there's going to be some competition if real estate moves into the picture. That's what happened in 2012. a lot of people moved out of the precious metals, or a large part of their precious metals, and got the real estate because it was on sale. So I think when we get, it's going to be a challenge to try to see, where the money goes, because think about it, this is a huge investing universe, and people are going to try to pick up what's on sale. And there's nothing like having the mailbox money from rental properties and everything else. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time commenting on the miners right now. I got to get back in and kind of look at the lay of the land for everything, and get my charts all set back up again, and see what their, remember, we look at their all-in sustaining costs and that kind of stuff, and I got to figure out how these miners have done during this downturn, make sure they haven't taken on any significant debt and everything. And so it's going to take a little work to kind of put all that together. I need several rainy days. I've been doing a lot of stuff outside because we've got some rain coming in, and whenever I know rain's coming in, I try to get everything done. So I was out there overseeding my lawn, and I forgot to bring that little contraption that I built. I put something in the community tab. I made this thing, and I'll do a video when I plant my little seedlings, but I made something that I think is going to help a lot for planting my onion sets. Yeah, so the miners will definitely explode no matter what happens with fuel and other things, because they're going to say this is what it costs to pull out of the ground, and their prices will go up. Now, there's going to be some conflict into the profitability, so we'll see. But the costs are going to have to increase, just like oil. I mean, the cost of oil is whatever it is because that's what it costs to get it out of the ground. And so if we don't have enough stored up, the inventory's low or whatever, the prices go through the roof, supply and demand. So I think the precious metals are going to be along the same lines. I was watching, reading a lot of articles about uranium, and so I'm probably going to have a video here soon about the different companies you can invest. There's one primary company, I can't think of the name of it, Conseco or something like that, who's, doing very well. And the, URA, I think, is the ETF version. That's been doing very well. So I think, but I try to just stick with the tangible stuff and not get too fancy, but I kind of follow some of these other things just because they're interested. So I got a video that's I captured that has some interesting commentary from our energy secretary, who was laughing when they were asking, well, what are you guys doing about energy? And she was like, it's controlled by OPEC. There's nothing we can do. And she was just like laughing. What do you think you want me to do? And everybody's saying, we're going to $4 gas because these guys are idiots. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And we're just going to $4 gas. So Cameco, thank you. So get ready, folks. We are going to have a major energy shock. And you've seen in Europe, I don't know if you've been following that, but the natural gas is extremely high priced. I was checking some of the prices for propane around here, and propane has not shot up here, but if we get some significant cold weather, we might see that. Patriot Man's in the house. ADA 2020 Beekeeper Debt Destroyer. So yeah, I'll start trying to put together some of the things for the miners and following, because I got a feeling that's going to turn around pretty quickly, and we'll see the start making some money for the year. So what have you guys been up to? I think I talked about this a few days ago. I got all my chickens in the freezer, so my freezers are all packed to the max. I made a really nice dish the other day. I had some you know, when you have a 7-pound chicken, you get some big old hunks of white meat. So I cut that up the other day into like some chunks, and I put it in the bottom of a greased pan, like one of those cake pans, just like that. And then I took one of my big yellow onions that I grew. Remember how big those things were? I cut that up and I kind of fried them up with some mushrooms. And then I dumped that on top of the chicken. And then I put some Parmesan cheese and I poured spaghetti sauce all over it. Then I put mozzarella cheese on top of that and I baked it for, you know, like 45 minutes or something. And so I've got this pan where, you know, it's several days of food. The only thing I forgot to put is I like to use oregano, and I forgot the dang oregano. Oh, I forgot I put sausage in there too. When I fried the onions and everything, I had these sausage patties that I kind of broke up. So it gave it a really nice flavor. But that was a, I always like to make something from something else. So I'm just not eating just something, you know, the same thing every day. Wow, tins up 4 times. That's amazing. I was going to do a video pretty quick. I don't know that that stuff's going to hold up. Again, it's not a realistic price. That's a manufactured. People just decided they want to try to screw someone, and that's not always a game you want to get in because you don't know when the big guys are going to get out, and you're going to be left holding the bag. So take what you can get. Yeah, I did a lot of work on my um, solar batteries and everything. So I've got a report I put together that I'm going to give you an update on that, on what the savings are. And the biggest savings, surprisingly, was using the wood stoves because you're kind of out there splitting wood and you're generating your own power is essentially what you're doing by avoiding using electricity. So it's your own energy. But it was surprising how much money I saved through the winter time versus the solar. You know, so 4 months of winter time versus, you know, 8 months of solar, I actually saved more money using the wood stoves. That's incredible if you think about it. But a lot of times in the winter time, you know, it gets so cold, especially January, February here, you're kind of running on heat strips part of the time, which is like the least efficient. Yeah, SBSW has got a lot of the uh, platinum, palladium stuff in there. It does have some gold, but you know, virtually no silver. And so, you know, when platinum kind of fell back, SBSW got hurt pretty good, and there's not that much gold content. So we got to get platinum lifting off before SBSW starts going. And I tell you, I hate this time change. It freaking almost gets dark about 5:30 here now. I don't know what you guys thing is, but I mean, I'm in North Georgia and 5:30. It's ridiculous. So, you know, I went and took a shower because I was outside huffing it, trying to get fertilizers down, and I got a little poison for you know, grubs and stuff. And then I put my grass seed down, and I had. It's kind of funny. I got a lot of driveway, and so I end up vacuuming it up with a lawnmower to get all the leaves off the ground or off the driveway. And you stir up all kinds of crap so it gets all over you. So I came in, took a shower, and I was thinking, you know, it was dark outside. I said, well, do I need to go to bed? And I realized it was freaking 6 o'clock and it was dark as could be out there. Unbelievable. So I don't know what to think about this. I've been working on some of my little portable solar stuff that I have out there for the animals. I noticed that some of the 18500 or 18350 batteries were given out after like 3 years. So I went and bought some more, and those things are expensive as all get out. They're like $7 a piece, and a couple of these things hold three of them. So I was replacing those, trying to get everything back working again. Some of them are for security too. In fact, I bought another 3 LED light set that I'm going to put up front. So you need to think about, you know, keeping up with maintenance and everything. make sure all your security lights are all working, all your security cameras are charged up, and it's a really nice deterrent. Silver liners in Colorado, and it's getting dark. Are you getting caught up in that atmospheric river stuff that's hitting California out there? They're getting just tons of rain and snow and everything in the mountain areas from that. Let me see what else news we had over here. Yeah, our unhinged socialist banking nominee wants oil, coal, and gas industries to go bankrupt. Yeah, that's the person we need in office. Did you guys see what Texas was doing for their border? Texas was taking all these shipping containers that are stacking up all over the place, and they decided to go line their border with these shipping containers. I thought, this is being creative. Why do you got to go put these dang Cadillac walls and take years to do shit? They went and freaking started hauling in all these shipping containers. I haven't seen the final design, what they're doing, if they're stacking them too high or what they're doing. I saw some just dropped in, and I saw like National Guard in between spacing, blocking, but they're trying to just stop the flow into their state. And now I saw like the Texas governor said he's going to start shipping whoever they catch up to like Delaware. So I thought that was interesting. It's almost like the states are now starting to go to war with the federal government. Yeah, I don't know about going to bed at like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, but there are times when my body's shutting down by 9 anyways, and I'm up. My dog wakes me up at 6 o'clock and go take care of the chickens, get them going, but I really don't get moving solidly until after 8 anyways. When I used to do rabbits and everything, it was a lot more work. But in fact, now that I got the meat chickens, it's even less work. The egg chickens are a piece of cake. By the way, I got 12 eggs out of my 12 hens today. I've been averaging probably closer to 10 this past week, but we started ramping up and I got all 12 now are laying. That's really impressive to me. 12 eggs a day. That's a ridiculous amount. That's 84 eggs a week. It's ridiculous. Good thing I got lots of friends. And I'm telling you, it hardly costs anything to do egg chickens. Once you get your NRE where you got their setup and everything, the only thing I need to do is I got to get I did a little napkin design for an automatic door opener in the morning and then closes in the evening, so I don't have to mess with them, especially if I want to go travel or something. I just got to, make sure they got plenty of feed and water, and then have that thing automatically open and close at night so they're safe. So I think I'm going to go ahead and work on that, because it just takes like a real small solar panel and then a sensor, that has a battery tied to this thing, and it'll be really nice for them to be able to get out when they need to in the morning. Yeah, about this whole vaccine thing, apparently there's been a stay by a federal judge for, I don't know if it's across the whole country or if it was just for the federal workers or something, but they're not allowed to lay anybody off right now because of that, not being vaccinated. I think the Supreme Court's going to weigh on it. Says, you kidding me? Whatever happened to my body, my choice, type stuff. I mean, you think about abortions and everything, people can decide what they want to do. It's like, well, what about, this dang shot? I mean, are they going to all of a sudden make everybody take flu shots? And I mean, I just heard an advertisement for pneumonia shots, and they're saying between 19 and 65, everybody should have like a pneumonia shot. I mean, pretty soon they're going to line us up like if you're in the military. I don't know if how many you've been in the military, how many shots they give you of everything for that. It's insane. So I don't know. It's strange to me that we got a government that's trying to force us to do stuff. I've got, I posted a couple of videos. I've got another one that I want to send you where some doctors now are ganging up and are saying, look, we got a problem with these vaccines. We have a serious problem with these vaccines. They were supposed to stay like a localized thing in your arm, like a normal vaccine to kind of get your body used to this thing. But this stuff is moving into all the organs, including the brain and stuff. And that's a no-no. And all the data now is in saying that's what's happening. And that's why we're ending up with these heart problems and even cancers coming up and stuff. And so I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be pissed, and it's probably going to take another 6 months to a year, but eventually they withdraw all of these things and say, oh, wait a minute, we screwed up. And here's now what all the side effects are. And, you know, it's not going to be good. Not going to be good. And people were duped. I don't know. I feel bad for the people that were forced to do it or thought that they were going to lose their job and went ahead and did it. And then they start having serious problems later. That's going to be sad. Real sad. See if anything's going on after hours here. And gold is sitting at 1850. Silver's at 2467. That was a really substantial jump today. I mean, it looks like we touched 1865 for gold and silver touched 2511. Yeah, I kind of feel like this whole RNA stuff, and this is Robert Dobson's theory of the world. When you got a guy like Bill Gates who was involved in, disk operating system stuff, I've talked about this before. I have a feeling that he thought that he could hack our genome and be able to rewrite it and make a, potentially better drugs, better genes, better people. This is almost like the front Nazi stuff, it's kind of weird. And especially when you have so many of the most susceptible people being taken out. That's almost, what was that thing called when they were trying to do that? They were trying to like purge all the other less races and do a master race. Crap. I almost had it on the tip of my tongue. I forgot what it was called now. There was something they were trying to do. Eugenics. Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, I haven't been paying much attention to, I saw that Bitcoin had gotten back up to some of its, close to its all-time highs, but I just don't follow it because, again, I'm trying to stay with tangible assets. I think tangible assets are the way to go. Yeah, I hate that when you see young people getting a stroke. Somebody sent me a video of all the athletes that have been like having strokes out on the field, and many of them just died, and they're at peak health and everything else, and they're just done now. It's really sad. That's some of the blood clot stuff and everything that's happening. I think the biggest thing everybody needs to do, I highly recommend retirement if you can get away with it, but I will tell you this, if you can get your stress down low, you're just not going to be susceptible to as much stuff as a lot of other people have. You need to, because stress is something that really will help knock you down. I mean, I told you I ended up with that sarcoidosis because I ended up having to take care of ailing parents, and my dad was terminal. And I fixed up 2 houses, bought another house up here, sold those 2 in Florida, fixed this house up here, and it was just too much. I did it all in too fast and retired early. It was all kinds of crap. So this is one of those things that is you got to keep your stress low because it'll hurt you. It'll hurt you bad. Stress is probably one of the worst things that, and I mean, you got to have some stress, but I'm talking about catastrophic stress that can really pile on you. It's not good. Yeah, actually, probably about 6 months ago, I started taking these CDB gummies. And I mean, I was taking it like 1 a night just to try to get my body calmed down to where it needed to be so I could sleep really well. And now I take it very intermittently. But I have to admit, I think that stuff actually really helped. Yeah, I remember, Silverliner, you telling me about this. That's the problem. These vaccines knock down your immune system. After 1 shot, it's knocked down like 30%. After 2 shots, you're down 60%. So our body has all this stuff floating around in here that it's constantly fighting off and keeping at bay, but maybe a lot of things aren't necessarily completely eradicated. And cancers are one of those things. So when your immune system's knocked down, that's when you become more susceptible. So especially if you've got the shots, you need to keep your stress level down as well. So I'm still going to just tell you, I think that's probably one of the bigger things that people are missing. And of course, all the crap that's happening in this country ain't helping people stress. And then especially when they're isolated, God, the worst thing they could do to these people in these nursing homes is not have family come in and visit them and everything. And that's just nasty. That's a psychological warfare they've been doing on everybody. I'm really sorry to hear about your brother. That's really bad. I mean, think about how many people are walking around with just like fungus on their toes and stuff like that. And, that's just where your body's been compromised. And, we hit it with some drugs to try to knock it out. But when your immune system's knocked down, you're going to start having all of these things happening because you always have these things in your body. Even like you think about food poisoning and everything, your body can shake off a lot of stuff unless your immune system's knocked down. Yeah, the Governor Newsom thing was kind of an interesting thing. He disappeared for a couple of weeks after getting his shot. They kind of kept him out, but I don't know. And then I heard like Psaki, she ended up, even after the shot, she ended up getting COVID, and so she's been off the air for a couple of weeks. Psaki, I forget what her name is. So there's some very visible folks that are going on, but figure out how to just slow down. It's like, in fact, I talked about this probably 2 years ago. It's time to be like a turtle, pull your neck in to the shell and just, let's wait and see kind of how this stuff comes together. But, a lot of what we've done, like I said, I got out of a whole bunch of stuff and I just went into tangible assets because I'm just going to wait and see how the dust settles. Some of the rich people, they go off and buy farmland and stuff like that because it's a safe place to put your money. So what have you guys done? What have you done with your money? I keep waiting for this stuff to jump up again overnight, but it's just kind of sitting there. It's made its jump for the day. That's actually really interesting though, because we were about 18, 24, 25 or something. That's just amazing that it went up like $40 it's like a rocket launch. It's amazing the way that did that. Now, remember, let me give you some numbers. If you are able to secure, oh God, I wish I could remember the number. I have to go back and look it up, but it was some ridiculous thing. If you get 30 ounces of gold, which, might be 60,000 right now. If you're able to get 30 ounces of gold, you're going to be in the top. It was a small percentage. I'm going to say 10%, top 10% of gold holders, but I think it was closer to 3% of gold holders in the world. So then if you can imagine, if you did the same thing with like platinum, which is even more rare, golly, you'd be in the top 1% or something, just having like 30 ounces of platinum. If you got like 1,000 ounces of silver, you're doing really well too. So anyways, try to set some goals like that, because if we're right, and there's no way to know for sure, but if we're right, this is going to, I keep saying, you're going to be like Joseph, coat of many colors. You may end up saving your family and extended family and friends and everybody else because you had the foresight to do this. Other people won't, and it should allow you to get there. Now, if you go one step further, it might be more like 10 steps further, and you do some of the stuff like I've done for the prepping and everything else, then you'll be like way ahead. Because precious metals only go so far. If things become unobtainium, where you can't buy chickens, you can't buy, food or toilet paper or anything else, if you had the foresight to stock up on this stuff, which, by the way, everybody hear that China told their people to start, I don't think they used the word hoarding, but start getting a bunch of food and stuff. He told them to go do it. And they, in the past, have been cautioning people not to do that. So now, shit, how many damn billion people are over there? And they're now going to start hoarding. That is going to screw up supply chains even more. So, get what you can, folks. And I have spent so much time showing you guys what to get. Get the rice first, get the beans. If you're from the South, get the grits, because that is super cheap stuff and it's very easy to store. And I even showed a way to make this stuff last like 10 years using my dry nitrogen and the Mylar bags and stuff. So just get it. Start canning. I tell you, there's nothing like having home cooked meals preserved. Forget this canned stuff that costs a bloody fortune in the store. A quart jar, and you pour it over rice, you're going to feed 4 people off of each quart jar. So that's huge. Get a garden going. Winter time's kind of dead, but there are seasons. So like I said, I'm about ready to plant my onions and garlic. So, and then that stuff will be ready May and June. And then I'll start planting my other summer stuff, the tomatoes and the peppers and all that. I still got peppers out there. I got to go pick everything because we're going to have some super cold weather this next week. So this is time to start getting the rest of the peppers off the plants and just kind of kiss them goodbye, because we're going to be down to like 31 in 4 or 5 days from now. I'm going to start adding those into my videos too, to show you, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. But yeah, timberland is another thing that people end up buying. I get all kinds of stuff in the mail about, buy some timberland. Right now, I'm trying to get things that are, again, close to me. Don't necessarily have a piece of paper between you and anything else. Something to be said about God's money. Eminem is in the house. And I've been talking 44 minutes. Can you believe that? I must have had a lot to say tonight. I don't think I've stopped. And I didn't bring my cup over here next to me. Oh, okay, so look, I got to tell you something. I think I talked about this in the live stream the other day. I bought some of that crap. What's that vinegar called? It's like organic stuff. And, oh, God, I can't think of what it's called. anyways, people use it like medicinal stuff, preventative, holistic. I can't think of what it's called, but anyways, I tried adding that to my water because I was using lemon juice, and I tried that vinegar stuff. That stuff is disgusting. I tried to drink it all day, but it just is not palatable to me. I think I could make some apple cider vinegar. That's what it was, ACV. I couldn't remember the thing. Thank you, Jeff. We both thought of it at the same time. But anyways, I think I could actually put that in some dressing, like the oil and vinegar stuff, and I could probably choke it down with that. But man, I cannot drink it. And I mean, I just put a little bit in the water, and it just like poisons it to me. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. That stuff is just not when you're trying to drink water. But lemon juice I can get away with. I like it. A little bit of lemon juice in the water. That's good. How many of y'all are trying that apple cider vinegar? That's supposed to like cure world hunger or something. I don't know. I think I'm going to make some. I'll try to make some oil and vinegar. Actually, it's there used to be this stuff I would get where you put the seasoning in the jar with the oil and vinegar, and it was really good. And I used to make it pretty strong with the vinegar thing. So I might try that and see how that works. See if I can do the apple cider vinegar that way. There aren't too many recipes that I can use that with. You know, when I talk about this stuff, I should have it sitting out here in front of me so I can show you. I just bought whatever they had in the store. When you're by yourself, you don't make salads and everything, full meals. Like I try to do like I don't know. I try to make a pan of stuff so that I can, in fact, I leave the spatula in there. So I just put like aluminum foil over, put it in the fridge. And so then I just scoop out 2 squares, put it on a plate, throw it in a microwave, and then I have a meal to eat. That's what I do. And I like making soups and stews because those are, and then sometimes I just put the pot in the fridge with a scooper in there and I just pull it out. And that way it's like I don't even need Tupperware half the time. Oh man, you do it in shot glasses. Holy crap. That stuff would probably kill me. Now, I will tell you this. I did notice this the other day. I used to have a lot of sinus problems, and it seems like lately my sinuses have been unbelievably clear. I don't know why. Now, one of the things that I did with this house, you might remember this, I put this bipolar ionizer in my central air system, and my sinuses have been unbelievable for a long time now. I did that at the beginning of 2020. Remember, I was telling you guys this is supposed to kill viruses and all that stuff. And my sinuses have been amazing. So I don't know cause and effect if there's something else going on. Of course, I've been eating really well and everything else. I sure wish I could lose like 30 pounds though, but I'm just holding at 205. I'd like to get down to 180 or something if I can. But it's hard to do when you're just by yourself. I still eat a lot of meals out. And by the way, I went to my wing place today. The wings were fantastic. I had a whole crowd there. All my buddies, we all got together, and they have this thing called a lunch bar where you get a salad, and it's a good sized salad because they want you to fill up with the salad. But it used to be all you could eat wings. Now you just get 12 wings, and it's just like you get the drumstick and the they don't call it a drumstick when it's part of the wing, but you get the flapper and the drumstick thing as separate pieces. And then you get fries or what was it? Fries, chips, and they're the thick chips, or you get the tater tots. So I always get the chips, and I like dunking the chips into ranch dressing. But anyways, that was a really good meal today. And I mean, we sat there for like an hour and a half and just had a good time with everybody. Yeah, Silver Liner probably lost 135 pounds of ugly fat. He got divorced. It's an old joke. Yeah, maybe that was my problem. I was just pouring it in my water glass and then filling the glass up with water and trying to drink it. It was like, oh, God, awful. I don't know if I could drink that stuff just straight. I'll try it. I mean, I eat citrus, so I have those little tangerines. I forget what they call them, but I buy a big bag of those and try to eat a couple of those a day. I eat a banana every morning. I have blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries. I try to eat all of that stuff. I keep some apples. I like to put peanut butter on the apples every once in a while. I can't tolerate a lot of peanut butter, but that's a good way to eat an apple. I try to eat a lot of fruit. When I eat my Honey Nut Cheerios, I try to throw some blueberries in there. And I also put some pecans. I like some pecans. Honey Nut Cheerio is kind of bland by itself, but that kind of spices it up a little bit. Silverliner was allergic to her. Yep. So, anyways, somehow at the last minute, I figured out how to use the right microphone because sometimes when you're doing this live stream, I can never remember where the settings are. At the last second, I found the settings, so I get the right microphone. So everything should sound proper here versus a little bit of an echo chamber. My little Logitech webcam microphone thing doesn't have nearly as good a microphone on it as the Turtle. What's that thing called? Turtle Beach. I think that's what it's called. This thing here. This is a great microphone. Really natural sound. I like it a lot. But anyways, we're at 52 minutes. I think I've thought of everything that I could say. See if there's any more news that's coming through. Did you see Robinhood is like crashing right now? They think that some hackers stole their internal security tools. I heard a lot of people were locked out of, I don't know if it was Robinhood or one of the other ones, and they couldn't trade the other day. So everybody was ticked. And then the Tesla rival Rivian, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. They opened 35% above the IPO price, and they're valued bigger than GM and Ford now. That's unbelievable that a new company could come in and actually outstrip, two companies that have been in business for 100 years or more. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, now, you got a point there, Patriot Man. If I took that apple cider vinegar and mixed it with apple juice, I probably could choke it down then. I'm going to try that. In fact, I used to keep in stock grape juice, the Welch's Concord grape juice. I really love that, but I don't know how apple cider would work with that, but it'd probably work good with apple juice, so I might try that. So anyways, why don't we lock it down? So I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.